Alright everyone, at this point it's safe to say that YouTube has partially shadow banned my channel based on the metrics that I'm seeing, and I'll get into the reasons why I believe that as opposed to just, well, your material's slowing down post-election. I'm pretty sure that's not the case. Number one, I'm hearing from other people the same basic thing. Around the time of the election, a few days after, all of a sudden they had a massive slowdown in growth and even a reversal of growth. Some people have experienced this on and off for a number of years, actually, and it's usually due to YouTube changing its algorithms, which it does time to time, and sometimes it's not targeted. Sometimes it's just because they're trying to drive more traffic to MSM content. Well, if you're making current events material, naturally, if you're an independent creator, you're getting the fuzzy end of the lollipop on that deal. That's number one. Number two, if you suddenly stall out to 0% subscriber growth and your view count is half of what it was last month on a site, but on every other site you're doing just fine and you're still growing in subscriber totals, you're getting the same number of views you were getting before, that's an anomaly. You would not think that that is likely to happen if people were simply getting bored with your material. All of a sudden, after 12 years of nonstop growth, you finally got stale, despite the fact that you're basically doing better than ever everywhere else. That doesn't make any sense. So what I think is happening is that YouTube has put me on the naughty list, probably because of my political views. And again, it's not a coincidence, I think, that it happened 2 days after the election. I don't think that's coincidental. What's happening is that I gain 100, 200, 300 subscribers each day, and then at some point they're all deleted again. People are also reporting to me, and this is other people just reporting it, even before I even mentioned being censored by YouTube, that they're not even seeing my uploads on my main page. And many people are reporting they no longer get notified of my material. Now, you can click the bell all you want, but YouTube's notification system has been fucked up for some time, so there are two ways you can help me. The first is, if you see this video or any other from now on into the foreseeable future, share it somewhere. That's the easiest way for the channel to grow, because if it's not visible on the main page and new users can't search for it directly on YouTube because it's not being collated into the search results, and if you look up my username when you're not logged in, you don't even see me, and if you get to my channel, I think most of the content isn't even there. If I'm basically invisible on YouTube, I need to become more visible elsewhere. That's number one. Number two, you can follow me elsewhere. There are 4 links in the description: BitChute, Dailymotion, Rumble, and Odyssey. All 4 of these sites still growing on. It's very funny that I can be growing on Dailymotion, a site that doesn't even have 1080, a site that is basically non-searchable in any major search engine, certainly on Google, because it is a monopoly that suppresses its competitors, and a site with, I think, 1/10 of the user base of YouTube and virtually no actual internal searchability for my content. I'm growing faster there now than I am on YouTube. Certainly on BitChute a few days ago I crossed 110,000 subscribers. At this point, if this sort of thing keeps happening with YouTube, if it continues to purge and censor and algorithmically suppress and demote content and piss off creators with Adpocalypse 1.0, 2.0, now I think 3 or 4.0 at this point, copyright bullshit where bots are constantly downing people's channels, even if it's just a blank black screen with no audio can get copyright struck at this point. If YouTube keeps doing this, I wouldn't be the least bit surprised if I'm on YouTube at all 10 years from now. If I've got a gold plaque from BitChute and I'm smaller than I am now on YouTube because of the constant demotion. So if you see this video or any other, please share it out. Now, I hate to become one of those YouTubers where I have to start every video, hit that like button and retweet, tweet about it, hit subscribe, make sure your notifications are on. Apparently, I'm going to have like a 1-minute sermon before at least one of my videos each day just to remind people, hey, I exist, because half of you weren't notified today that I do. It's totally normal for heavy-hitting commentary that was getting 100, 150,000 views sometimes in a video to barely hit 30K in a 24-hour period. Totally normal for that to begin 2 days after the election. Totally normal for it not to affect any other presence that I have on the whole internet. Still soaring on ahead on all of alt tech. Hell, I even put the YouTube links on the uploads on other sites at this point just to scrape together a few extra subscribers just to fight the power. And some people say, well, if you're being mistreated, you don't have to use the site. Dude, YouTube is my main presence. I've been a YouTuber for 12 years. I'm not just going to abandon my presence and almost 500,000 subscribers, even if only some of those people are even seeing the content. They still want to watch the content. There's no reason not to use it. It's still the site on which I get by far the most views and have by far the largest audience. I'm just being abused by the people that run the site. Now, which form does it take? It could be targeted. They could have literally put me on a naughty list for suppression. It's possible. I do have views incommensurate with Google Incorporated. Or it could be that it's just a blanket targeting of certain kinds of content. They have spoken at length about wanting to drive more traffic to mainstream authoritative sources. That is to the detriment of people like me, and by the way, not just those that cover politics. If you cover news in any sense, science news, health news, technology news, gaming, anything like that where you're talking about current events, you are being screwed by YouTube. That's tens of millions of users that have nothing to do with politics. Politics is way smaller than gaming, by and large. News as a general core is not always about political or social issues that have any sort of moral component. Much of it's about technology and health and science and things like that. Those people are being fucked too. I'm not surprised that increasingly gamers, ASMR artists and so forth, people who do makeup, certainly anything to do with guns, tools, automotive, stuff like that, they're moving to other sites. They're getting pages on fucking Rumble or BitChute or something. I'm not surprised. By the way, why do people go to Vimeo as the alternative? They're more censorious than YouTube. Maybe not in the demotive sense, but certainly as far as banning people, Jesus Christ, you can get away with a lot more on YouTube than you can on Vimeo. I don't know why people continue to use that site. Jesus Christ, get a fucking BitChute account. Get on Odyssey. Use Rumble. Use Brighteon. Brighteon's way more searchable. I've taken it out of the listing here simply because I'm not getting any real momentum going there, and partially because it's the smallest of the alt-tech YouTube alternatives, as opposed to these others. Rumble's been around for a while and so forth. But I mean, it's way more useful than Vimeo. The hell's wrong with people? Nobody's gonna find your shit on there. You get 10 views. I'd probably get 10 views. I'm not gonna advertise their shitty site. So yeah, when I upload videos, if you see this video, which some of you will anyway, please make sure that you've clicked the little bell to be notified of uploads. Because sometimes YouTube just randomly unsubscribes people from channels too, so they have to manually go back. I've had dozens and dozens of people over the last couple of months say, well, I was unsubscribed to you. And I didn't do it. YouTube just unsubscribed me automatically. I think that's most of the new subscribers I gain in any 24-hour period. I'm being suppressed, explicitly. So you can share the content out on other sites, or you can watch me on another site where you'll get notified. You know, if you get BitSlide, I think you can get notifications from BitChute. Dailymotion, certainly, I think you can set it up for email notifications and shit. You'll know when I upload. Or you can just keep this in mind. I upload every single day. Just keep refreshing the page. Eventually the videos will be there. It's kind of like clockwork. By the way, I will be on Happy Homelands later as well. I guess I'll have more viewers on Ramsey Paul's channel because I don't think he's been targeted by the algorithmic manipulation yet. That's about all. Peace out.